Hello friend, welcome to one new episode. No, let's do that again, don't worry. Hello friends, welcome to the new episode of the Urban Homesteading series. We are very pleased that you're here with us today. If this is your first visit in our channel, please look around in our almost 400 videos that are arranged in playlists, and we're very confident you're going to find something enjoyable and useful for you. If you have been here before but you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. Today we're going to build something both useful and I think a little whimsical. It will be a great addition to your decor or great little gift for a friend or family member. And we're going to do it using again scraps, well not scraps but very inexpensive wood and scraps, right? It's a combo. So we're going to start with this flat piece of lumber and these long pieces, and stick around to see how we're going to build it. We plan to use the bandsaw and primarily the circle saw for this build, right? We might change the table saw to the circle saw, we'll see. But stick around and we'll show you step by step how to do this build. Started the bandsaw and we are going to cut some of the elements, the two end sides of our lid, and it is a very straightforward process. We did draw the sides of the lid first. We're going to cut the first one, and then we're going to trace the one we cut to cut the second one, right? All right. And you might have noticed that we trace it in a way as to minimize our cuts, right? Especially if you do that using a hand saw, that is kind of critical, to do as little cutting as you can. All the way straight up. Okay. Right, cut that. All right, and this is the shape we wanted, and this is the shape we got, right? Again, as we said, we are doing it in a way to minimize the cuts, and in this case, you can see the idea behind it. And we're not going to show you cutting this because you already have seen that process. It is the identical process, right? Are we having less cuts on the second one or the same amount of cuts?
About the same, I think.
Okay. So we're going to be right back. So we ended up with two identical pieces, as you can see. And now we're going to move on to these pieces of wood. And we're going to have to cut them first to the correct length. And in a couple of instances, half them in size, right? So we're going to get set up with either our table saw or our radial saw, and we're going to be right back with you. So using glue gun, we put a stop there. You can also put a clamp. Let's put a clamp as well, just to show them. It is not necessarily to do both, but I wanted to show you that either method works. What doesn't work is my left hand. And that would allow us to do repetitive cuts of the same length, right? And you can see our mark here. Are you recording? And we're going to cut them all on the same dimension. And as you can see, those are perfectly the same size. So we're going to cut the rest of them, no reason to show you cutting all those pieces, and we're going to be right with you. So having a lot of scrap can be very useful. We cut all the pieces, but we don't have enough for what we want. So we went in our scrap bin and found pieces that have at least two of the dimensions we want the same, but they're wider. So we're going to simply cut them down to the correct width, right? And then we'll go on. And we're going to show you one, we're going to cut a couple, but it is the same process. And just to be safe, just to make sure we have all the correct amounts, we are going to cut one more of our scraps, right? And that should guarantee that we have enough, and if we don't, we still have more.
Okay.
No reason for you to see that, I mean, it is the same thing. But in the process, we end up with a very nice square piece that we might even use in this product, because we might need something inside,
Yep.
So we'll see. All right, and here's the first dry fit of our lid. Again, we have not spaced it perfectly yet. We just do a general, what you will call just a generic look at it, right?
Yeah, just for the general shape.
So we're going to brad nail and glue this now, and we'll show it to you when it is complete. And then we're going to work on the bottom. So stick around. We're going to glue and staple the top after we were pleased with our dry fitting. And the important thing here is that everything is flush to the corner here and flush to the front and back.
Oops, that's a lot.
That's right. There's no such thing as too much glue. moved a little bit, so I will move it back.
Watch your fingers.
What are you recording, Olaf?
What we're doing.
Okay, we're out of staples, so we'll stop. Okay, the nail guard loaded. One last check that everything is flush. And using the same process we are going to do, so I think you need to put glue and you had your hand right in front of that lens.
Well, I know this is going to be really hard to do.
That's okay. And I think we need to, if it is bodied on that, it's flush on the other side, I think. And check it, but I think that's how it works. Yes? Okay, and we're going to do the other one. You want to show the other one too? Did it move? I'm surprised the camera didn't move. Now for those of you that are interested, the angle we've used is 45 degrees, right, love? Tell me when you're ready. Okay. And now we need to do the short ones. Okay. Today is just the two of us, so we have to be creative with the camera. Okay. And the last piece. Now clearly you can scale this, right, in other dimensions. You can make it smaller or bigger. But we thought this is a good size. Keep it that way so they can see what I'm doing. There.
Hold on, I need to make sure it's flush up here.
Well, we'll only have one, so it will be movable. Okay. We need to clean the glue. Alright, you can grab the camera. So here's a rough sketch of the project that we drew as we were deciding how we're going to build it. I don't use programs like SketchUp or anything, but we do sketch by hand the concept of what we want something to look like. And here, for example, you see the top, and you can see it pretty much matches our crude sketching. And now we're going to raid again one more time our scrap bin to find the remaining wood for the project. So after some searching, we found pieces that will work for our project, and now we're simply going to cut them in the correct dimension. Okay, so let us do a couple of dry fitting and testing. We're going to do. All right, friends, and here's the dry fit of each of our sides. We have two sides, and here is a dry fit of our concept. Ignore these pieces; these have not been cut yet, but you get an idea. This will be the outside of each side, and we're going again to use wood glue and brads to attach them, right? So we're going to do that, and we're going to be right with. All right, so going on with the assembly, we have completed the two sides, as you can see, and now we're dry fitting the side of the box, and we put the bottom piece, which is a little smaller, half the width actually, right, on the bottom, and the other piece on the top, and then we are going to eyeball this, so probably something like that, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
And we'll do the same in both sides. And I think we're slowly getting there. I mean, this is a project with a lot of cutting, right?
Yeah, but small pieces.
And a lot of looking through our junk, not junk, I don't want to call it junk.
Scrap.
Our scrap. So, but anyway, it's coming along pretty much the way we envisioned it. And we're going to make this assembly. Again, it's the same thing. We're going to use glue and brad nails. Nothing exciting there, so we're not going to bore you with that. But we're going to show you the next step, and both sides will be constructed the same way, right?
Yep.
The only thing you don't see, and we have not cut the pieces, is that we're going to have some pieces here. It will make sense when we're ready to show it all, right?
Yep.
And now we're getting ready to cut the last of the corner pieces, and we have marked it as you see. And again, here we're dry fitting it, but you can see our four corner pieces. And we're going to be right with you after we attach them again in the same way. Glue and... So going back to our bandsaw station now, and we're going to cut a thin piece of plywood we have from in the scraps to create the bottom of the box. So we have again create the outline, as you can see, and now we're going to go ahead and cut it. And the bandsaw is better for this operation than our table saw because it has a much finer tooth blade, right? Well, cut one big one and then cut it two sides. So cut it as much as the thing will let you, and then you can turn it around and cut it two sides. All right, and we have attached the bottom in our box, as you can see here, and the sides, and we are ready to attach the top, and we're going to use some easy silver hinges. The important thing here, can you open it for me, please? The important thing is that your hinge is not wider than your wood, and in our case, as you can see, it is not. We're going to use a small, not Dremel, what I want to say, a small drill so it will not blow out the wood, and we're going to attach the lid, and we're going to be right with you. And now we are starting attaching the hinges. Because they tend to be fragile, these screws, especially if they're brass, these are not brass, but especially if you use brass hinges, they can actually strip very easily. This is one instance that I will prefer to use a handheld screwdriver versus a power tool. And as you can see, we have not pre-drill, never pre-drill, bad word. We have made pilot holes, and these have a correct and a wrong way. And if you can, I don't know if it is visible, but there is a divot here that the screw can sit flush, right? So that is the correct way to attach it. And of course, I cannot even do something simple as screw a screw when the camera is on. My screwing skills are off, honey.
That's a shame.
I know. Ain't it so? And this happened to be much stronger than we need it to be, but that's what we happen to have at hand. You can use smaller. I think because of the side of the wood, I kind of like these bigger ones. What do you think, love? This is more of a rustic gift-giving box. It's not, for its size, it doesn't have a lot of volume in it, but it has a very nice look to it. At least that's my story, right? All right. And now we're going to touch the top. Okay, so we're going to do the last thing for the crate, and that is to attach the handles. Anything here? Again, you can be precise with this or you can eyeball it. And we're going to use a little bit of paracord to give it a little bit of color. So let us do that process and we'll be right back. So we're using some paracord to make our handles. And you're going to make a cord there, a loop.
I'm going to make a loop, but I'm going to cut the other one the same size.
With my super duper scissors. See, I was wondering why you took it off.
Took what off?
The paracord one was already in there. Okay, we have pushed the paracord through both holes, and inside we're going to make on each side a knot that will prevent it from allowing the paracord to come out, right? That's 2 knots. I told them 1 knot.
Well, maybe you should have checked with the design team first. That way, for sure, it will not come through at all.
I don't think 1 knot will make it come through.
Okay.
And we're going to do the same on the other side, and we'll be right back. All right, friends, we reached the end of our episode, and here is our finished product. A very nice, rustic looking, I think, box. What do you think?
It's almost like a treasure chest.
Yeah. It has decent space inside. I mean, it's not extremely spacious, but it still has some really nice detail. And overall, we are very happy on the way it ended. It has a lot of cuts. There are little cuts, you know, little cuts versus big cuts. And here is the paracord.
Yep.
And it provides with very nice little handles, right? You can use smaller hinges. This is what we had, so we use what we had. But I like them for the thickness of the wood. What do you think?
It worked well.
But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little episode. And of course, like most of our projects, this can be scaled up or down. I think actually you can make a full-size chest with this, don't you think?
Could.
Like for a blanket chest or something like that?
But you would want to, sand it and make it more finished.
Right, we just wanted it to be rough and rustic and interesting. But anyway, if you did... No, I don't want to do that. No, God. If you enjoyed this episode, please smash that like button. If you didn't, smash the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe and comment. Let us know what you would like to see in future episodes, and we're going to accommodate you to the best of our ability. As always, we post content every midweek and weekends, usually Wednesdays and Sundays in this channel. And from the Garage Wizard, Mrs. Wizard and the Herbert Homesteading channel, we bid you a great week.